Buenos días.
Buenos dias, Bélgica. Good morning, Belgium. This is Latin America calling. How are you doing, guys?
We're
Fine.
good.
Fine. Yeah, yeah. It's raining outside and it's 7 degrees. I think it's
Oh,
better.
okay.
So, but we're used to it. We're used to it. And to be honest, it allows us to kind of be very creative in the studio. Like
Oh, excellent. So let's keep continue raining.
yeah, yeah. We hope for bad weather.
We know you have a busy agenda these days, so thank you very much for these minutes.
It's our pleasure.
Pleasure.
We are delighted that you were re-elected to represent Belgium in Rotterdam. Congratulations, and let's get started with the questions. In the context of the situation we are currently experiencing due to COVID-19, it is always be important to ask you, how are you and your families doing?
For the moment, we're all doing well.
Yeah.
Actually,
It's okay.
we've been tested quite often. So we've been tested yesterday. So we're
Yeah.
all constantly tested, but also like our families and
Okay.
everybody in our surroundings is still very, very
Yes.
okay.
Touch
And
wood.
I had a couple of friends who had COVID, but they survived it. So it's yeah, it's peculiar how people adapt to situations
Mhm.
quite fast. How you kind of almost like whenever you're now wearing a mask, it's now after a year, it's
Mhm.
almost like as if
It's normal,
it's
yeah.
normal.
Yeah.
But of course, we miss being on the road. We miss playing gigs. We miss playing concerts.
Yeah.
That's for us. Is like it's actually what we love doing.
Yeah.
So it's in a way it's a bit weird. It's also gonna be the first time in 25 years that we're gonna release a record in the month of May
I can talk
that we
with it.
can't tour and that we can't play. But still, we believe that we have to keep on putting out records, even though we cannot play, because I think like people can, for me as and for us, music is like more than just entertainment. It's also something that kind of like kind of can help you and can get you through difficult times. So we hope
Mhm.
that we can do that for some people.
And of course, I am pretty sure that your followers will be supporting you, whatever, no matter what. So I am pretty sure of that.
Yeah, definitely.
Tell me, what emotions define you as a musician?
What emotions?
Yes.
Ah, I think we like contrasts in life. We like the contrast between sweet and peppery, between salt and sour.
Yeah.
So we
Mm,
like,
salt and
yeah,
pepper.
it's like, vinegar and salt, like we wrote a song about it. It's like, so in our songs, there's always like, it's always a bit bittersweet, I guess. That's what
Mhm.
our music is. Can have like a really happy lyric and a very melancholic kind of soundtrack, and or it can be a very kind of melancholic lyric and the music can be actually like deceivingly light. So we like that kind of contrast, and I think that always has been part of our music. And also we like dark humor. Like in now in the wrong place, there's definitely dark humor. And
Yes,
also in the
exactly.
video, there's humor. So yeah, combination of things. I think like eating every day the same thing is kind of like dull. Like so we don't want to write the same song every day, and we don't want to like use the same emotions every day to
Mhm.
write it.
We'll speak about the video later on. More than 20 years since you were born as a band. Tell us about the secret to last in the music industry after all this time.
I think being truthful, being genuine, believe in what you do, and I also think like being happy with what you have.
Mhm.
Uh, but mostly, I think you need to be passionate about what you do.
Mhm.
I think like we're like already making music for 25 years now, and we were always very passionate. And good is not good enough; it needs to be excellent. And you got to go like 200%.
Yeah.
Like it's
Mhm.
100% is not enough. So it's all about passion, about dedication, about being true to yourself, but also you need to evolve as a band. I think you
Mhm.
can't make twice the same record. It's like, you know, when you listen to our first record and then to the second, then the third, there's always like, you know, you hear it's Hooverphonic, but there is definitely like an evolution in what we do. And sometimes it's a bit psychedelic, like the president of the LSD Golf Club. And sometimes it's very filmic, like The Night Before. And sometimes it has like, you know, an uplifting feeling like Amalfi. And sometimes it has like a bittersweet feeling like Mad About You. So I think, you know, standing still is not an option. You need to go ahead, but always like, you know, without forgetting where you come from. And that's, I think it's a difficult balance, you know, like, and we're just, I think we're very good acrobats. We always find the balance, you know.
Yeah, it's very interesting how have you have grown in the music, but no losing your essence.
It's like, you know, like it's really strange, you know, like in some, if you look at some sites, you know, like they still see us as a trip hop band. While some parts of our career we were a trip hop band, but at other parts we were like, you know, more like a pop band, or we were like more like a symphonic orchestral band. We changed quite a lot, you know. So it's quite funny. But it's like, on the other hand, we're very happy and we're very lucky that when you start listening to trip hop on Spotify or on Deezer or on Apple Music, and radio, Spotify radio takes over, then you get like Hooverphonic and Morchiba, and we're very lucky to be in good company, you know.
Exactly. Eurovision 2020, we were very excited to see you on that stage, but then the cancellation came. How did you feel in that moment?
At that moment, you know, of course, we felt sad that it got canceled, but immediately we realized that the problem was bigger than Eurovision, you know. It was football got canceled, Eurovision got canceled, you know, like if you know, in Belgium and probably in Latin America as well, you know, like, you know, if football gets canceled, there's something really serious. You know? It's like, you know, like, so that got canceled first. So I already knew that Eurovision probably got canceled as well. So that was sad. But at the same time, we were immediately concerned about the future of the music industry, because, you know, a lot of bands live from playing music live, you know. And so we knew that if all these things got canceled, that the festival summer probably would get canceled as well. And that, of course, is a big problem for all our friends, musicians, for all our friends, technicians, for a lot of people in our environment who are not as lucky as we are. You know, like we build a career, so we can cope with this for a while. You know, we can financially like survive. But a lot of people in our environment can't, you know. So it was very terrifying, you know, like to lose control.
Exactly.
And we're kind of control freaks, you know. And suddenly you realize that you control nothing, that you have to kind of go with the flow, you know. So it was difficult. It was difficult to see how, as like a sort of domino cascading thing, you know, when this goes, then that falls, then this is, it's, but luckily we're living, I don't know how it's with you guys, but luckily here in Belgium, the government kind of tries to kind of like, you know, compensate and tries to kind of get people kind of like, you know, help people financially, but still there's a lot of people who have really difficult time to kind of survive, or who, even worse, have lost family or family members, you know, of COVID. That's like, even like, you know, something that luckily we didn't have to experience yet. So we're still kind of, our families are still okay. We're okay. So we're very lucky to be still alive and kicking.
Good. Geike, you were with Hooverphonic between the late 90s, 2000s. How does it feel to come home with the challenge of representing an entire country in Eurovision?
Well, if you put it that way.
Weight on your shoulders. No pressure.
No, it's what you say. It's nice to have that feeling of coming home into this Hooverphonic world. And then I didn't think of it when we decided to join forces again. That just came up after a few days, that realization. And at first it was terrifying because of what you say. Yeah, it's representing a country, and it's quite a responsibility. Already being in front of a band, but now with a country behind you, it's still different. But I'm enjoying it, and that's the important thing, I suppose. We're having a lot of fun together, and I am feeling so lucky to be in this position again, and to play around and find out new things, and yeah. It's a beautiful new experience,
and we're definitely waiting to be able to go on the road again.
Yeah, totally.
That's because we've been working on an album as well, so the album's going to be released beginning of May. So for us, it's going to be weird not to be able to go on the road with the album, but it's something. Yeah. On the other hand, it kept us busy through these difficult times. Because a lot of people, a lot of our friends are just waiting, doing nothing at home. And because of Eurovision, we had a goal. We had like
exactly. It's not about doing that. I think everyone wants to do so many things, but then with which perspective they don't.
Yeah, well, that's it. And the Eurovision gave us a perspective.
Yeah.
And making an album as well, it gives you like something to do, it gives you a goal in life, and that's really important to stay healthy, both physically and mentally, I think. So we're very, very lucky, and we are aware that we are lucky,
Totally.
And don't feel pressure that.
So sorry.
No, don't feel pressure. There will be just a few audience, around 200 people.
That's true. But there's not going to be an audience
in front
of us, which is a pity, of course, because we're a live band. But on the other hand, it will give us maybe more focus on the television performance, which is also like you say, a lot of people are watching. It's the main thing is like all these people watching the show, and it's going to be fun. It's for the first time ever in my life. I'm not going to be following it on a couch. Well, I'm going to be following it on a couch, but in the green room, like not at home. So, yeah.
Okay, let's speak about the
what is your favorite song for the moment? What did you hear all the songs yet?
I have some favorites. So, and the wrong place is one of my top 5. The Switzerland one is a very good song as well, and the France, the girl from the France, and basically that's my What's another? The Spanish one. I like the Spanish one because I'm very romantic. So
I like also, like you say, like the French one and the Bulgarian one. I like the Bulgarian one.
The Bulgarian, yes.
That's a nice one, I think. I didn't hear the Russian one yet. I heard it like on a cell phone, so I didn't hear it properly.
Yeah, it's very nice. It's very have ethnic sounds, and it is in Russian, so it will be very interesting.
Okay, cool.
Because Russian doesn't have an entry in Russian, so
it's been a while. It's been a while since.
It's been a while, yeah.
Russian, definitely. Yeah, it's been a while since Belgium had like a Flemish entrance, It's like although Liliane Saint-Pierre, Soldiers of Love, there was even the title was English, but back in the days when there was still an orchestra, and you had like a singer, conductor, and there was one band.
Mm-hmm.
Italians are still doing in Sanremo, still doing that,
Yes, exactly, and Sanremo, and that keeps Sanremo with that magic. I don't know.
Yeah.
I think the orchestra live is another level.
That is something we're missing, because people ask us like, this year you didn't use an orchestra in the wrong places. Like, there is no orchestra, so we're not obliged, But if there would be one, then definitely we would have used it, because that's one of the things we love: strings and orchestras.
Mm-hmm. And speaking about the wrong place. Consider that it will be difficult not to enter into a comparisons with Release Me from last year. What concerns were running through your minds with this new song?
Oh, it's really different,
Yeah.
you know. Like "Release Me" was it was a very personal song. It talked about me saying goodbye to my dad who died in 2019. The Wrong Place is like a scene from a Tarantino movie, so it's like, you know, two completely different worlds. It's like, you know, but they're both very Hooverphonic, you know. Sometimes songs are very very personal, like "Mad About You" or "Eden," and sometimes they are not, like "Bada Boom" or, you know, like you know, like "Anger Never Dies." They're not that personal, you know. Like, although my wife always says like "Anger Never Dies," that's definitely you. But 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 you know, like, so it's different, you know. "Release Me" was a ballad. This is not a ballad. But they're definitely, both are definitely 100% Hooverphonic, you know. And I think that's the most important to us, that we're at the festival just being us, being who we are, you know. Like, song wasn't written for the competition. "Release Me" wasn't written for the competition, and "The Wrong Place" neither. So both songs were actually not written for Eurovision, and I think that's an advantage, you know. I think genuine songs that are just written for fun or for, you know, like no reason, or tend to be kind of good songs. I experienced in my 25 years of songwriting, you know. When it really doesn't matter, then most of the time you write the best stuff, you know. And when you're under pressure, sometimes you're trying too hard, and when you're trying too hard, that's never good, you know. So yeah, but it's different, you know. Some people, you know, like prefer "Release Me." A lot of people that I see say, "Oh, this is so much better," you know. Like the Belgian host of Eurovision, Peter van der Veere, definitely likes this one better than "Release Me." But that's Hooverphonic, you know. We are an eclectic band, and we sometimes make tracks that people enjoy. I had like a personal email from a friend of a friend who kind of said like, "I hated "Release Me," but this is cool," you know. So, and then somebody else, like, we did an interview with a German journalist who said, well, "Release Me" was more sophisticated. But then again, we tend to disagree, because we think this is more sophisticated, because this is actually with the dark humor, and, you know, like in the video, it's very stylish, you know, like it's
I am totally agree with you that this one is more sophisticated. The video is, yes, a Tarantino way, but the song is like a 007, James Bond, something like that.
Yeah.
But I prefer this one than "Release Me." But that's a personal.
Well, most people do, I have to say, and that we had like, you know, so far more people like this one better. So
yeah,
but it's yeah, it's strange to be participating two times, you know. It's gonna be for that reason, it's historic, you know. Like you never get the chance to do this, you know. You never get the chance to have like a rehearsal the year before, because last year we had like we had to write a song, we had to record it, we had to make a video, we had the dress was already you know, designed, the staging was already done, you know, everything was ready. So we went through the whole process, and that of course gives you a learning curve or something. You kind of think, okay, thinking about last year, we waited too long for the video, we had not enough time to make a good video. So this year we were like you know, anticipating like much faster. Like immediately we said like, we need the video fast, and we need like a good idea for the video. So yeah, it's strange in a way to do it twice, but on the other hand, it's an advantage.
Okay, well, I do have some questions from fans all over Latin America. Okay. Eurovision is a festival that have a large fandom in Latin America. Did you know that?
Yeah, we know, yeah. Also in China, you know, like, and in I have a Chinese friend, and he says it's really popular in China as well.
Yeah, in
America, you know, like some American fans. So it's Eurovision, but actually they should make it a world competition, you know, with even more. Of course, there's a lot of countries in the world. It would be a festival that takes 2 months or something. But yeah, we know that Latin American fans, that there's a huge Latin American fan base for Eurovision, and of course that's really great, you know. Like we've been asked so many times to come and play in Latin America, you know, like in Mexico and in Argentina, and it never our schedule never allowed us. So we're still waiting to kind of come over and play a gig, you know, and finally. So let's try to make that happen after the COVID.
Yeah.
And everything, you know, like let's try to make it happen so we can come over and play some gigs in Latin America, you know, like it's I would love to kind of like, especially if we do that, you have to be my guide for restaurants, you know, like
no problem.
The right places.
Be more than welcome. Okay, let's start with the Eurovision fans questions. First come from Christopher from Colombia, which is part of our team, and he loved your proposal, by the way. Can you tell us about the history of the wrong place? What's the story behind the lyrics?
Well, it's a song that I wrote last summer, right after the first lockdown. We had like a lockdown from March till June here in Belgium, which was really strict and very like, you know, it was an extreme lockdown. And so I was in a studio all by myself for 3 months, you know. And then during summer in July, after the lockdown, the first time I could co-write again, a young girl, Charlotte Forêt, asked me if I would be interested to write with her. And she released a really nice single. Her name as an artist is Charles. And she had like Wasted Time, a really cool single. And I said like, yeah, why not? So it was just more like, you know, she wanted to write with me, and just for fun, we said like, let's write 2 days together, you know. But that's what is so magic about it, is probably that there was no pressure. We just did it for fun, to learn to know each other. And so we wrote 2 songs, not even knowing what we would do with the songs. You know, we didn't even, it wasn't meant to be a Hooverphonic song, or maybe for her, we didn't know. And so we started writing, and immediately we said like, oh, we're not gonna write about I miss you and I love you and I want you, you know, like we want something a bit more, there needs to be a sort of dark humor in it. And so we came up with The Wrong Place. And during lunch, we were actually hearing Johnny Cash on the radio, and he said like, let's incorporate Johnny Cash's name in the song, you know. So we came back to my studio, and then we were writing on the chorus, and then we made the catchphrase, don't you ever dare to wear my Johnny Cash t-shirt, which is actually, again, inspired by a movie called The Wedding Singer. I don't know if you know the movie.
Oh, no.
And, you know, like in that movie, Adam Sandler says to his ex-girlfriend, so take off my Van Halen t-shirt before David Lee Roth gets jinxed, he says, you know, like, so, you know, that's a cool thing, you know, like you watch a movie, and then a movie like that's like 20 years old, 25 years old,
least, yeah.
And you get inspired like 20 years later about, and thinking like, don't you ever dare to wear my Johnny Cash t-shirt. So yeah. It's
guys, I would love to continue speaking with you, but I don't have more time. So just one final question and a final message for our readers. So what's your favorite Eurovision song?
Ooh, my favorite Eurovision song.
Oh, from all time, you mean?
From all time?
Yes, if you have it.
Poupée de Cire, Poupée de Son, Frans Gal, written by Serge Gainsbourg.
Yeah, we can say that.
All right.
And if you want a more recent one, Salvador Sobral, who won like, I really 2
or 3 years ago.
Yeah, that's like, you know, like this is still a beautiful song. That's really, really very, very beautiful song. And then, of course, you know, there's so many more, you know, like ABBA, you know, Waterloo, of course.
I love ABBA.
But those are good songs that didn't win, you know.
Mm-hmm.
There's also sometimes that most of the time, actually, the songs that I'm like mostly end around the 10th place, you know. So when we would end around the 10th place, maybe we made a good song or something. I don't know. But yeah, you know, like but Frans Gal, you know, like that was nice.
Yeah. Okay.
Vicky Leandro as well, also very good. 70. The creative process for the video started actually when I wrote the song together with Charlotte Forêt. Immediately I I realized it was a very visual song. It was a story, and I really wanted a director to tell the story with images. So immediately I thought about Jan Boon. He's the director of the video. He already worked with us like 4 times in the past. He did Amalfi, he did Bada Boom, Ether, and Boomerang. And you know, like I knew I could trust him, and I knew he understands like the visual world of Hooverphonic. So he came up immediately with a great script, and it was he who came up with the idea of the decapitated man, which I actually immediately loved. He kind of made it a bit more Tarantino, and well, it can never be too much Tarantino. It's like, you know, we love Tarantino, and we love, like, you know, the extremes in his movies. So yeah, that's how we actually got to the idea of shooting it in a castle. And to be honest, when we the day that we were shooting the video, it was really cold. It was like, you know, freezing. It was snowing, and Hege had to wear like a very kind of like light dress. So it was very, very tough for her. But you don't see it on the video. She's a pro apparently, because I couldn't do it. But it was really a great vibe on the set, and luckily we had a great crew with a fantastic cameraman, fantastic. Chef de photo, you know, like a DOP, like they say in America. And and in the end, we're very, very happy with the result. If I needed to describe our song in 3 words, it would be probably 100% pure Hooverphonic. Why? Because it's 100% pure Hooverphonic. It's you know, it has all the ingredients. It has like the melodies, the typical kind of twangy guitars. It has the atmosphere. And it has the drama. You know, like not too much drama, just enough drama. So I think, you know, like. That was also the thing, you know. We said to Belgian television that we only wanted to go if we could do it the way we wanted to do it, and if we could control everything ourselves. And they gave us that carte blanche, and we were very happy with it. And we're now, very happy with the result of the video and the song and the production. So yeah, 100% pure Hooverphonic. We accepted to go to the festival because Raymond and me are already long-time fans of the festival. We follow the festival since we were kids, and we just like, you know, like the cultural diversity. We like, you know, the contrast between sometimes intimate songs and then very grotesque, you know, like extrovert songs. We like, you know, sometimes it's really camp, but then it's really cool. Sometimes it's a great kind of like circus act, and sometimes there is no act but just a beautiful song. It's like, it's these contrasts that we love, you know. And so we got asked in the past, but we never, well, our agenda never kind of like allowed us to go. And this time around we had the time to do it, and we had the song that we liked. Well, that was Release Me. Now we had to write, of course, since 2020 we had to write a new one. But you know, so that's why we now participate. I know it's maybe for some of our fans maybe bizarre that we like the festival, but that's how it is, you know, like, and that's how it always will be. Who knows if we will win the festival? I don't know, you know, I don't have a clue. There's one thing I learned in my 25 years of musical career, that is that you can't predict stuff like that. But there's a couple of acts that I really like. My biggest
for me, the biggest competition is France. I think France, they have a really beautiful song, and it's really something I really enjoy. It's very catchy. It's really, I heard it twice, and then I could already sing it. But it's very, very French. It's very chanson. I don't know how other countries will react to that. I like the camp of Lithuania. I like the Russian act. And I also have to say I really enjoy Bulgari. I think that's a really beautiful song. Very Billie Eilish. It's maybe a bit of a rip-off of Billie Eilish, but it's beautifully done. So yeah, there's a couple of countries I really like, but that's just stuff I like, you know. I think Switzerland could do well. It's not my cup of tea, but it could do well at the festival. It's and it's actually co-written by a very good friend of mine. So it's a third Belgian. It's a third Belgian, I think, a third Dutch, and a third Switzerland. It's like a Swiss. It's a Swiss, Belgian, Dutch kind of like, you know, co-write. But you know, like, you never know how songs will do. I think a couple of years ago, Salvador Sobral won, and nobody expected him to win. So we'll see what happens. You know, that's just the fun bit. You know, that you can't predict it. It's that's why we participate. The worst moment for me since the cancellation till now was definitely last summer in August, when I decided to stop writing. I wrote like, I think, 30 songs. And during the first lockdown, I was writing all the time. And you know, then afterwards I started co-writing. Like in the beginning of July, I was still co-writing with friends. And I was also co-writing with Charlotte Forêt, with whom I wrote the Wrong Place. But then in August, I decided to stop working for a while, and I really had a tough time, you know, with COVID, with the fact I couldn't perform, couldn't be on stage, with the fact that everything was really insecure, the insecurity of the future. I'm a control freak, and suddenly I realized I couldn't control this situation, and that was difficult. And then, you know, like, somebody told me, like, did you ever think about the fact that maybe writing music or working on music or working in your studio is a sort of therapy for you, you know? Maybe you need to do that to kind of keep sane. And so I started working in September again, and it worked, you know. After a month I was better. So August was definitely a difficult month, because I wasn't making music anymore.
72, that's the year I was born. You know, like, yeah. Whenever I'm in France and I open the door for someone, you know, I said like, après toi. I still say it every year a couple of times.
Exactly. Final message for our followers, readers, and watchers all over Latin America and beyond.
Well, we would advise you all to kind of get some fake, you know, like cards, you know, European kind of like phone cards, so you can vote, you know, like, and then you vote for Hooverphonic, you know. So, or, you know, you kind of, you know, call all your family that is living in Europe and who actually can vote, and ask them to vote for Hooverphonic. That's, you know, like, and if you do that, you know, like, and we would ever come to Latin America to play gigs, we'll buy you a beer.
Okay, guys.
Una cerveza. Una cerveza.
Dos cervezas.
Dos cervezas.
Guys, I cannot thank you enough for this opportunity, for this time. So, best of luck in Rotterdam, and hasta la vista.
Hasta la vista. Gracias.
Take care.
Bye.